I thought it would be fun to have a look at my 2023 favorites and to see if I still like them. Have I used them this year? Have I decluttered any of them? Like, what has happened with them? And was I right declaring these my favorites? I feel like a lot of the times with the yearly favorites, it's really about that year and what I'm loving that year, but then the next year we have new products and there are some things that stick around for longer, but sometimes I also just kind of forget about it, also because I try a lot of products. So I just want to go over it and see what really stuck around. So let's get into it. All right, I have the list of products here because there's a lot to talk about. I don't want to miss anything. So last year I was really into the Milano Beauty Essentials collection. That was one of my favorite collections Kiko has ever done, probably. Like, I really loved it. This is a full basket. I have to dig around a little. Here they are. So I said I was a big fan of these Beauty Essentials 3D Effect lip glosses. And I think I bought all shades, or maybe like 3 out of 4. I really still think these are great lip glosses. They are sheer, they are shiny, they have a really nice shimmery effect that isn't too chunky. I don't know if I've really used these this year. I've been trying a lot of lip products. My lip product collection and declutter is coming, and I believe I had like 500 lip products to go through. A lot. So with a lot of these products, you're gonna see, like, I was a bit overwhelmed this year, a bit too overwhelmed sometimes to go back to these products, but I still think these are really great. Like, these are nice and I kind of want to get back into these. Then we also had from this collection the Hdyra shiny lipsticks, and these I still think as well are really good. I don't think these are still around. It used to be the case that Kiko Milano products, like their limited editions, were around for like 2 years. I think they kind of toned it down a little bit to save some money. I have here kind of like this nude purplish shade. This was 02, and then I also had this one in 03. Or was this a nude purple? No, this is a nude purpley shade. What am I saying? I feel like I'm not making any sense. Okay, this is the kind of like toned down red shade, and this is kind of like the light purpley shade. These are really nice, cool tone, shiny lipsticks. These are the ones, I think about these a lot. Like, when you go into your drawer and you see all of the things you still have to review, but then you also see all your favorites. Like, these are the ones I want to wear more. And I'm gonna make it a point next year to wear more of my favorites and just have more fun with makeup and not just be reviewing or doing looks for videos. So I think these types of videos, kind of like the roundup videos, the collection videos, are really gonna help with it, like seeing what I want to use actually. Then we have the Powerful Love collection Sunny Creamy Lipstick. This is also from Kiko Milano. I have a lot of Kiko Milano favorites, and this one is in kind of like this light cool tone shade, very creamy, very beautiful on the lips. This makes me look super tan. While I'm not, it just makes me look like I've had a day in the sun and I'm healthy and I'm glowing. I really love this shade on me, but I also really love the formula. It has a magnetic closure. This is a beautiful lipstick. Have I used it this year? I think at the start probably, but this is also something I just want to get back into that. Like, I still think it's great. Okay, more Kiko Milano. I feel like most of the lip products that I liked last year were Kiko Milano. Where did I put them? Okay, I have one of them, but I don't know where the shades were that I tried last year. Like, this is from the advent calendar from this year, but this is the Lasting Matte Veil Liquid Lip Color from Kiko Milano, and I had 05 and 07. I'm sure they are somewhere in this basket, and I really love those shades, but also just the way this dries down. It's very smooth. It's not hydrating, but it's very lightweight. I did really enjoy this formula. But I also feel like there are better liquid lipstick formulas in my collection that are a little bit more comfortable feeling. And I think I've discovered some liquid lipsticks this year that I like over this. But I would still recommend it if you don't mind a little bit of a almost drier feeling lipstick. Not drying, but it's not like hydrating. And then in my favorites, I also mentioned this Jelly Stylo in 501 by Kiko Milano. I don't believe this was new last year, but I just really enjoyed it. This is such a beautiful kind of a lip topper. This is similar almost to the shimmery lip toppers that Nimya has come out with, but this is really like a clear one with a lot of shimmer. It's really like a wet look sheen on the lips. I still think this is really beautiful. but I haven't really used it again. But I do feel like that one holds up. Then we have a lip duo from Lunar Beauty. I mentioned the Milk Tea lip liner. I do have to say I have been wearing this year as well. I kind of forgot about it for a bit, and then I picked it up again. This is a really nice, just neutral nude lip liner that is not too creamy, like it lasts a pretty long time. It's a good shade, it's a good formula. And then I also mentioned the lipstick in Icon. This is the like comfort matte lipstick. This is really nice. I haven't used it again, but I still think it's a really good one that I want to like get back into. I promise there are gonna be products here that I have used a lot this year. I promise it's coming. Just bear with me through the lip products. Okay, this one I've been wearing, and this one is just really good. So this is the Catrice Marble-licious lip balm, and this is in the shade Don't Slurp So Loud. It's a mauve lip balm, liquid lip balm. I have used quite a bit of this. It's very comfortable. It's very nice and glossy, shiny, just easy to wear, easy to use. Great one. And then one that I think I've also still been using this year, but it's been a little bit like at this point, this is the Glossin'Glow Tinted Lip Oil by Catrice as well, and this is in shade 010. I don't like the darker shades in this, but this light shade is really cute, really fun. One of my favorite pH reacting lip products still in my collection. Ooh, these. I am so in love still with these lip products. This is gonna get easier in a while. These lip products, I don't think I have the exact shades that I mentioned then. I mentioned 02 and 04, I have 02 and 03 here, but these are the Swan Ballet shiny lipsticks, and I reach for these so much. Also, I received a PR package from Flower Nose this year, and I just asked for another shade of this, and also in their sale before that I bought 2 more shades. I have 5 shades I think in total from this formula. I love this formula so much. This is a shiny formula that becomes a little bit like grippy, almost a little sticky. It stays on the lips so well. It's so hydrating. It's such a nice feeling plush formula in beautiful colors. I really love this formula. If you would ask me like my top 3 favorite glossy shiny lipsticks, probably this would be in it, and I still reach for these a bunch. Okay, next product I've also been reaching for this year. This is the Catrice Cheek Lover Marble Blush, and this is in Dahlia Blossom. I reach for this quite consistently. It's such a beautiful, slightly glowy, smooth, like soft, medium pink shade. If I don't know what to do, this is a really easy go-to. I really love this blush. Then something I actually forgot I mentioned. These are the Nimya Cheeky Flush Cream Blushes. In my blush declutter, I was like, oh, I like these. These are good. I kind of forgot that I mentioned these in my favorites. I have to say I have reached for a Hey Coral, but this Pink Ranger shade, it's a little bit of a scary shade for me. I don't really know what kind of like looks to combine with it. I feel like this is really like one that I can quite easily combine with things because it looks like a more natural flush. I do still like this formula. I do feel like if this were in a little bit of a different packaging, it would be a little bit easier to use. Yes, it has the tiny sponge that you get with it and that fits in here, but those tiny sponges, they are not super easy to store. There's not really a way to store those together that I can think of, except for keeping those in the boxes. But if I keep things in the boxes, I don't use them. I think the formula, once you get this on your cheeks, it looks really smooth. It looks really skin-like. The colors are really fun. I feel like if the packaging would change a little and then there would be like more nude or like a soft pink shade, that would be really nice. I do think this is a great formula, but it's just, there are a few things to this that make me not reach for it that much. Like, I kind of have to think about it. I have to say to myself, okay, it's time to use the Nimya blushes again. But I did keep them all in my declutter so far. This blush I used again recently. This is the Kiko Create Your Balance Contour Boost Powder Blush in Tireless Pink. This is such a beautiful pink shade. I love the matte blushes by Kiko Milano because they really have this skin-like finish to them. They are very smooth, they are very blurring. I think this is a really special shade in my collection. I don't really have anything like this, so I'm still a huge fan of this one. And then I also mentioned the Kiko Powerful Love Cream Cheek Duos in both shades. So I first got the one in, which one did I get first? Not that one. So I first got the one with kind of like more reddish tones. This one is the one in Romeo and Juliet. Really beautiful blushes, great colors. I feel like it's a little different. We don't see this a lot from Kiko Milano. Such an easy to use formula, really, really interesting. They are a little bit lighter when you actually apply it on the cheeks. It looks a little bit more scary in the pan. Really beautiful cream blush formula. I would love to see something like this from their upcoming Valentine's collection. Like around, like somewhere in the middle of January they come out with their Valentine's collection, and I'm already very excited about it. It's really always so fun. Like the last one wasn't my absolute favorite. I don't think I have any like true favorites from that one, even though there were a few really nice products in that. I'm hoping they do something along this line again. This was the one in Lovebirds with some more nude tones, but even these are a little bit more cool toned, rosy. Beautiful, beautiful palettes. And something that I really want to get into again, like I miss these. I think some of the most used products in my collection since I got them must be these blushes by Kaleidos. I also said it in my blush declutter. I have used these so consistently throughout last year and throughout this year. If I would rank all of my blushes, these would probably end up on top. Which is kind of strange because glowy blushes are my thing. I love a glowy cheek, but there's just something about these colors and the way they look on my skin that is just, it blends in seamlessly. It makes me look so good. So I have shade Pale Rose. It's a really light pink, but it just gives me the perfect flush without looking like too much. It just fits my skin tone and undertone so well. I know a lot of people hate on these blushes because they don't show up on them. I am just exactly the right person for this. And also, I just love this formula. It's so smooth, it's so blurring. I love how it just perfects the skin in such a beautiful way. Whenever I go into the office, I basically always reach for these when I go out. And it's just like my normal daily life. I'm not testing anything. And that happens quite regularly. Like I'm home a lot as well, I have to admit. But also this one, Pearl Bliss, this is such a beautiful kind of like bronzer for me. It is cool toned, it is soft. I can use it as a bronzer, I can use it as a blush. If I think I just want to add a little bit of dimension and color because I am very fair, I just go for this. I love these. These are like all-time favorites. Then this Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush in 10 Shimmering Rose. I still think it's a really beautiful blush. It's really smooth. It gives a really natural glow. It is really, really nice. But I do think this has kind of been dethroned by a favorite that I'm going to be sharing in my 2024 favorites. Next up we have the Kiko Beauty Essentials Glowy Face and Body Highlighter. I told you that I was a fan of this collection and I love the highlighter as well. This is a light champagne shade. Really easy to blend, really easy to use. I haven't really reached for it, I think, this year. Or maybe at the start of the year. Probably at the start of the year, but it's been a while. But I still think this is a great formula. It's just a classic by Kiko Milano. Ooh, then this one, I think I have used quite a bit. So this is the Moira highlighter in the shade Love Struck. So this is a Dreamlight highlighter. I think this is such a beautiful formula. Skin-like, glowy, a beautiful color. Like this highlighter hasn't left my mind. Haven't forgotten about it at all. But I did think that maybe a little bit of a lighter color would be actually perfect for me. Like this is more of a summer color for me. So I did decide to grab another shade, and that is 02 Honeysuckle. And this is kind of like my new favorite color for me personally, just for my skin tone. But I still think this is a great formula. Like these are some of my favorite highlighters in my collection for sure. Then a product from the Kiko and the Little Mermaid collab. So this was the All Over Highlighter 02 Reflection on the Sea. And this is such a beautiful kind of like cool tone pinky champagne. I do think I've used it this year. I still really like this formula. This is once again a classic. Whenever I see a Big Jelly formula by Kiko Milano, I'm there. I'm interested. Then we're moving on to the bronzers, and one of them I actually forgot a little bit. Like I forgot that I put this in my favorites. So this is the Laguna bronzer in Laguna 01 by NARS. I don't know why I forgot. I still think this is a really great bronzer. I think the color is really great for me. Like this is the time of year to get back into this, and that is really what I want to do. I don't know why I forgot about it. Like I haven't been as much into bronzer this year. That could be the reason. Like, I have a lot of favorite bronzers here that are amazing. And then for my 2024 favorites that I'm still kind of like curating, I don't feel like I feel as much hype about the bronzers that I have discovered. Like, they are not as cute as these. I also have here the Sculpting Touch Creamy Contour Stick by Kiko Milano, and I mentioned a new shade. This was the shade 203. This is a little bit more bronzy, a little bit more like what I actually look like when I'm bronzing, like sort of in the sun. Like the other shade that I have is a little lighter, a little bit more cool toned. This has been the year that I have just been bronzing a little less, been a little bit less into that super bronze look. And I feel like because of that, I haven't reached for this one a lot. Even in the summer, this hasn't really been my go-to shade. I've gone for my original shade, the one in 200. This one I also believe I used recently again. This is the Create Your Balance Color Boost Face Bronzer in Sienna by Kiko Milano. This is just a great formula, just like the blushes, but just in this very nice, kind of like more cool tone bronzy shade. Really love this one. This is still a favorite. In my favorites of last year, I also mentioned a Cheeck product. I'm no longer buying from Cheeck, but I still have a few of their products. And one of them is the Golden Sun Sun Sculpt Liquid Contour. So I still think this is a good product. It blends well. It's a really nice shade. It's very nice and cool tone, but without being too gray. But I don't know. I have kept some things from Cheeck. That is what you could see in my declutters, because I don't want to be wasteful and just throw it out because it's Cheeck. Like, I already paid for it. Like, it doesn't hurt the brand. But also I kind of feel like it's holding me back from actually using them. So even though I think this is a good product, I wouldn't really say that it's my favorite anymore. Like, I have other things that I reach for with like excitement, and this kind of feels like, why do I still have this? Then I also mentioned the Full Fantasy Face Palette by Laura Lee and Lunar Beauty, or Laura Lee Los Angeles and Lunar Beauty, and I have made it a point to actually use this year. Like, usually I kind of forget about face palettes pretty quickly when they're a little bigger. I've actually had this on my vanity and I've actually been using this, especially this shade and this shade. These are just my favorites from the blushes. The highlighters, they are a little deep for me. Well, this one is okay, but this one is a little deep for me. I kind of forgot about those during my more bronzy summer days, but I still think this is a great one. I am definitely like keeping this around, keeping this close to be able to use it. Alright, this one, the Catrice Soft Glam Filter Fluid Glow Booster, has been dethroned. And I feel like all glow booster type of products that I had before I got onto the Unreal Skin Tint by Charlotte Tilbury have been dethroned. Like, this is nice. I still think it's a nice product, but I just feel like the Unreal Skin Tint is so convenient. It looks so good. It's so easy to use. I never have any issues with it. And with this one, I sometimes felt like it didn't look as good as other times. Like, it kind of depended on my skin. And I feel like especially at the start of this year, I've been noticing just more skin issues. Like, I used to have no issues at all, basically ever, unless I had like an eczema flare-up. But now I kind of have to be a little bit more careful, a little bit more mindful that I don't get like super wrinkly looking under eyes or things like that, like things moving around. I've learned to like work with that. It was new. No, I'm fine. And one of the reasons why it's all just working well and I don't really have that issue anymore, and it's not like I look in the mirror in the middle of the day and I'm like, that doesn't look good. It's just that Unreal Skin Tint is so good. And I feel like this is really nice. And if you like a liquid version of those like glowy skin tints primers, I would still recommend it, but it's not my ultimate favorite anymore, and I haven't reached for this in a long time. Then a product that I have reached for quite a bit this past year, I have used it up pretty far, is the Fiber Lip Mask by Nabla. I use this a lot during the day, during the night. It's very hydrating. This one doesn't have a scent, but they do have scented ones. They do have different versions now. I do like the original because I'm a little sensitive to scents, and sometimes it's just nice to have the options to have nothing. It just smells a little bit like the, what's it called? The shea butter that's in here. This is really great. I think this is a great lip mask. If I use it up, I'd probably repurchase it. Then I also mentioned the Cupid's Arrow Shine. I still have all of them. But what did I do with them? I think this is one of them. This is shade Soul. So I had like 3 or 4 of the Cupid's Arrow Shine. I have to be honest, I haven't reached for them all year. I have been really into the Cupid's Arrows, the matte ones in the shade Cappuccino and the shade Mauve. These have been my go-tos. These I've kind of forgotten about, but I still think they're nice. I forgot. Then another product that has been dethroned, and I did not think that this was gonna happen. I do still have it, but I definitely didn't think this was gonna happen, is the Maybelline Sky High Lash Sensational. So I have the shade Brown, and this is a great mascara. It gives volume, it gives length, it's a dark brown shade, but I have just been so into the Essence Lash Without Limits is what I'm wearing today. This just gives me more, and the shade of it is lighter. It still gives me definition, but it's not as like almost black. It's a little bit more soft brown, and I've just been enjoying this so much. Like, this gives me so much length and volume. Like, it's still not a super light brown, but I tried to get back into that Sky High. Like, I still have a few of them floating around, thinking that I would be using that forever and ever as my favorite mascara. I tried to get back into this, but I was missing this so much that I decided to just buy this again and use this again. And I don't really use a Sky High that much anymore. Then I also mentioned the SheGlam Already Set eyeshadow primer. This is a good eyeshadow primer. It's nice for all the eyelids. I still have it, but it's empty and I'm not gonna repurchase it. Okay, we also have the Catrice Color and Fix Brow Mascara. This is still my favorite, my all-time favorite brow mascara. I love a brow mascara that has a color to it, but also has good hold, makes my brows look feathery and just voluminous, and this one does that. I have, however, changed the color that I'm using. This is shade Medium Brown. This is what I've been using for a long time, but I've actually switched to shade Blonde, so 010 Blonde, and I kind of feel like it fits me and my face better. I feel like it's just a little softer. It's not a super light blonde. It's still a cool tone shade. I've also switched to a blonde pencil, so I am using these together now. I still think this is the best eyebrow mascara that I have tried. I have tried a few other ones, for example the Maybelline Super Lock, that are really nice but not tinted, and I want the tints, I want the dimension that gives me. And then I also mentioned the Lunar Beauty Lunar Reversal setting powder in pink. I still think this is a good powder. It's not super heavy duty, it's quite nice for dry skin, which I do have. I do think that I'm not gonna be buying these bulky loose powders anymore, because I'm someone, I just use a light dusting of powder only on my forehead when I feel like my SPF or my products or my skin tint is looking a little bit too glowy there, which I don't often think or do. And this is just a lot to store. I'm not gonna go through this. I think it's a great product, but I have more powders now, and I just noticed myself reaching for just pressed powders. It's just a little bit more convenient. Then I also mentioned the CeraVe Resurfacing Retinol Serum, and I did a few months after that video decide probably one of the things that made my skin look good short term but not long term was that there was some drying alcohol in there, and I kind of, while I was going through these changes, these issues, my dry skin that I had around that time, and now it feels like mostly fixed. While I was going through those issues, I was looking for the best products to use and a very like soft for the skin products, and I have really totally switched up my skincare routine. I think I'm basically only using K-Skincare, like K-Beauty Skincare right now. I have had some questions talking about my skincare routine. I don't know if there's enough people who want to see that, but if you want to see that, let me know. I can talk about it. But I also feel like skincare routines are very personal, like your skin is your skin. Do I talk about it? Let me know. Okay, some perfumes. I did mention in my favorites the Holiday Premiere L'Etoile Golden by Kiko Milano. I haven't used this in a long time. It's been a while. I am someone, I love perfume, but I don't wear it. Like, I love it in a way. Like, I will spray on a little bit. I love it in a way. I love smelling good. I love smelling nice smells. But I'm just like mostly home all day. I'm a homebody. I'm just working on my YouTube and like you can smell me through the screen. So a lot of the time I don't feel like it's that necessary. I don't spray on a lot of perfume. If I spray on perfume, it's just a little bit, it's just like 1 or 2 sprays. I keep it pretty subtle. This still smells really nice. Just a little spicy, a little warm, a little almost like a sophisticated gingerbread vibe. It's still really good. You probably can't buy it anymore, but I can tell you that Kiko does pretty good perfumes. Like a lot of their perfumes are some of my favorites. Like they make perfumes that become my favorites. This one as well, this is the Powerful Love Quartz Romance perfume that was part of their Valentine's collection. I've been using this, I've been wearing this. I do like the kind of like sweet freshness of this, and I wear this to the office. Like I feel like this is a little bit of a lighter, more daytime scent. It's really easy for me to wear. Like I really enjoy this. Oh, my favorite perfume, probably of all time, is gonna be the Kayali Yum Pistachio Gelato. I have used a lot of this for me, for the type of perfume wearer that I am. Like this is a lot. I love the scent so much. Every time I wear it, I just feel like it smells so good. Just the boozy notes, the sweetness, but the nuttiness. I just love nutty tastes. Like nutty tastes in like tea, for example, or in like a baking goods type of like food. But I also really love smelling like it. There's just something about the type of sweetness that I really enjoy, and this gives me that in such a good way. Really love this one. Then I also mentioned the Lunar Beauty and Lauralee Los Angeles brush set. I still have all the brushes, and the one that I use the most is the blush brush. I really love this blush brush. It's such good quality. It's so soft. I really like this shape for blush for myself. Also sometimes use it for bronzer. I need to see where I left the other brushes because there's a part of my brushes that I've been too lazy to wash. I think they are in there somewhere. But still love them. I think it's still available. I would highly recommend it to just get this set if you would use all the brushes. I feel like that was the best deal. And then I also mentioned the original brush set by Cinch Beauty. I feel like this is one of the most consistent favorites that I've just been using a lot, and I also bought more. So I basically, with every eye look that I do, use Cinch Beauty brushes. Sometimes I go into other brushes, but honestly, if all my brushes are clean, the first ones that are dirty and that I keep just like cleaning up quickly on the Sigma Switch or some paper is the Cinch Beauty brushes. I feel like this quality is really nice. I really love the shapes. I really love the like kind of like coarseness of the brushes that picks up pigment really well. They blend really well. They are really easy to spot. I really like that these have the orangey yellow handles because I just quickly can spot them. The face brushes have been a favorite as well. I have been using them so much. I really think this is a great launch and just something I've been reaching for over and over and over and over again. And then lastly, we have a few eyeshadow palettes, and I believe my favorite palette of last year was the Little Ghost palette by Angelica Nyqvist and Odin's Eye. I don't think I've reached again for it this year. And the main reason for that is that there are no neutrals in this, and for some reason, if there's kind of like a combination of neutrals and colorful shades, I go back into a palette a little bit more quickly. Like this is a little bit more for filming, this is a little bit more for like having fun on camera for me. I do think this is a really beautiful color story still, but also I've just been using, trying and reviewing a lot of palettes this year. That was the goal. I said to myself at the start of 2024, I need to try more palettes. I want to try more palettes. I think I tried like in between 20 and 30 palettes for the whole of 2023. I also was off YouTube for a few months because I was moving. My whole like setup wasn't here yet. Next door is the bathroom that we didn't have for a few months. Can you imagine? Luckily it was summer. We could kind of like shower with a hose in the garden, but it was something. It was a wild ride. And this year I've just had a full year of just being able to do what I want, basically whenever I want it. Of course I have to like work during the day, but at night I just had the time to do this. And where was I going with this story? Okay, so I've been trying a lot of palettes and I feel like that's really gonna change my view of palettes that I've tried before. I feel like it's really gonna change how I view my ranking, how I view some palettes. I feel like a palette like this, even though I think the quality is great, wouldn't end up maybe even in the top 10 this year because it's not my perfect color story, but because I only tried 20 last year, it did end up in the first spot. Then we also have the Glaminatrix Cosmetics Rich Romantic, and I believe they brought this back this year as well. Still think this is a really beautiful color story, really beautiful palette. This would probably, as I'm feeling now, end up higher than a Little Ghost palette because I feel like after trying so many palettes, I know myself and my makeup style better, and this is just something I love. I love this kind of like, is it neutral, is it colorful kind of color story. The quality in this is amazing. I really want to go back into this and do something with the purples again because the purples in here, really beautiful. Also this one, this is just my type of color story. I think I did use this again this year because I just look at it and see so many looks that I just want to go out in. Like want to go out of my house in. This is a great color story. Love the formulas in here, love the tones in here. This is the type of palette that convinces me to do a little bit more of a grungy green look. Not a lot of palettes can do that, but these bottom shades, they get me to do that. I think this is a great palette. This one I think I did use again this year. This is the Pink Swan palette from the Swan Ballet series by Flower Nose. The shimmers in here are amazing. I can do such a cute look with this. I do feel like some of the pinks, like it's a little redundant. It's a little bit like one-noted, one-trick pony, but I love the look that I can get with this. And I do reach for these shimmers again because they are so wet looking. And then I also mentioned the Dragon Eye palette by What's a Beauty. I don't think I've used this again this year. Like, it's a beautiful palette. The shimmers are stunning. You can get a really impactful look and I do want to use it again, but I feel like it's not as inspiring to me. It doesn't make as much sense to me as some of these other palettes. I do think it's a combination of the mattes and the shimmers, which I have mentioned before. Like, we don't have a green matte in here. I don't feel like this pinky shimmer really fits the palette. So if that would have been a little bit different, I could have seen myself reaching for this over some other palettes a little bit more, but it's just the way it is. I think that was everything. That were all my favorites. I feel like some of them have really clearly been dethroned. Some of them I really want to get back into. And then some of them I've actually been using really consistently. And I feel like I almost want to put them in my 2024 favorites as well, but that doesn't make sense. But if I would do kind of like an all-time favorites video or a video talking about the things that I've used the most this year, those would be in there. Like, some of these really stuck around. Okay, that's gonna be it. Thank you for watching and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.